It's time for some damn good tacos and college football. We're excited to announce our title sponsor, Torchy's Tacos, for the Arkansas Football Report with Otis Kirk, and the new addition to the Hogville.net family, the Arkansas pregame show starring former Hog running back Marshall Foreman, hosted by Jason Pattison. If you're looking for a place to unwind and call the Hogs, Torchy's is the place. Torchy's location on MLK in Fayetteville is the proud host of the Arkansas pregame show, and it will air 2 hours prior to kickoff of each Fayetteville home game. The Arkansas Football Report airs every Thursday at 7 p.m. in Rogers. Check out the full-service bar on the patio or in the restaurant while you cheer Arkansas on to victory. Torchy's has you covered with the daily drink specials or the taco of the month with their queso that's made in-house fresh daily. Torchy's has 2 convenient locations in Northwest Arkansas, which happen to be the only 2 locations here in the great state of Arkansas. They have you covered for some damn good tacos, and go Hogs.
And everybody, welcome to the May 1st edition of the Arkansas Football Report with Otis Kirk. I'm Jason Pattison, and good evening, Razorback Nation. I'm glad that y'all are jumping on with us this evening. I know that Texas is getting their ass kicked right now, even though it's early. Want to say a special thank you to Torchy's Tacos. We'll be at the Rogers location next Thursday for the Taco of the Month, and I look forward to having Marcus on with us as well. I want to say thank you to Torchy's Tacos for all of their support they show us in hospitality each and every week at the Rogers and Fayetteville locations. Also, special thank you to Carbless Cocktails. Make sure to check out any of their array of flavors that they have to offer. You can pick those up at any of your retail grocers or at Torchy's Tacos. 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and 100 calories per can. Also, make sure to stop by Torchy's Tacos for some damn good tacos. Check out any of those tacos on that board. I'm excited to find out what that new taco of the month is next week from Marcus, whom we'll have him on. So try out the house-made queso that's made in-house fresh daily. Pair that with any of those tacos on the board, and then open your taste buds to a whole new world. Otis, how's it going?
Going good, man.
I didn't see, we talked about this too, and I just did not see Tesla going in the 3rd round. I saw Jackson. I just didn't see Tesla being the first Razorback taken last week.
No, I don't think anybody saw that. I'd heard Detroit was really interested in it, which made me happy because first time I ever saw him, he was wearing a Detroit Lions shirt, throwback jersey. And so it was kind of cool that he went to them real quick, and
yeah.
But no, I didn't think he'd go before Jackson. I thought I'd heard 4th or 5th round is what I had heard. I didn't know if that was true or not because you hear Andrew got promises he'd be taken and no one drafted him. So that stuff comes and goes. You hear stuff, you never know what's accurate and what's not. But yeah, I didn't think I didn't think he'd be the first Razorback draft. I don't think anybody did. I thought everybody thought Jackson would.
Yep. And
he almost was. He only went 2 picks later.
what's so crazy about that is that Tesla went 2 rounds before Shedeur Sanders did.
Yeah, he dropped. I don't know. I mean, I get some of the stuff that people says. I get that, but man, I don't know. I mean, they took some average quarterbacks before him. I don't care what people say. Some of those quarterbacks that were drafted for him, Milroe and them, are not better than
Dylan Gabriel. I don't think that
They're
Dylan
not
Gabriel
better.
translates. I
They're
mean,
not better than him. I
No.
don't care what anybody says. I'm not an NFL. I'm not an expert on anything, but I'm sure not an NFL expert. But I'm just telling you, Shedeur Sanders is a better player than most of those quarterbacks. I don't think Cam Ward's much better than him. Maybe he is, but Cam would be the only one. To me, you could be making an argument for the rest. I actually like the kid. I like the kid from Louisville, though. I really do. I like him.
Yeah.
I say he's better than Sanders. Now, I like him better than most people do. I heard a lot of criticism of him, but I actually like him a little bit. But some of those guys, Milroe, I'm not. As far as a pro quarterback, now as college, Milroe's okay.
Yeah.
But in the pros, I don't see him, because I'd heard the Rams were going to take him, and I was scared to death. I didn't want him, and I just don't think he's the answer.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is that the running quarterbacks in college most of the time don't translate to the NFL just because of the speed at the first and second level on defenses. And that's why you have to have a pure pocket, and I wouldn't say a pure pocket, but at least a quarterback that has a lot of accuracy.
They got to be able to throw better than Milroe can. Let's just be honest. He's not that passer. And, so, I mean, that's all I'm saying is he's not that good. So I just, so I don't know, but we'll see what happens. But, yeah, I was shocked about Tesla. I mean, but good for him. I'm proud of him. I on the 2.5 over and under, I took the over. I thought for sure Andrew Armstrong would get drafted too, but he didn't. So I lost. I mean, I guess I missed that one. I thought it'd be over on 2.5, but
those two Razorbacks were taken just a couple of picks apart too.
Yeah, that was it. And I really, when those two went that early, I felt really good about Armstrong. But when Tesla went that early, because I knew I thought Jackson might go in the second round, to be honest with you, but he went in the third.
I thought Eric Gregory would have gotten picked up probably 6th, 7th round, and he didn't either.
No, there's a lot of them didn't. I mean, a lot of them have signed free agent deals, but
lots of UDFAs. Yep.
Yeah, some camping bites too, but I know Anthony Switzer's still trying to hook up with somebody on something, find a team for him. But rest of them, I think pretty much the rest of them, I think, have found places. But I know Switzer, well, at least a day or two ago, he was still looking, because I know he was still looking for a team.
Man, I'm gonna tell you what, your bulldog in the background, he is loving life right now, my friend.
God, he's just shaking his head. I don't know what he's doing, man. He's just shaking his head like the last 30 minutes, just shaking his head and scratching his ear, and I don't know what he's got. I don't know what he's got into, but he's tearing it up. Yeah, he's something else.
I want to go and talk about.
I see him back there now. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Max, he's over laying down right now. He's a little dejected. My kiddo is in St. Louis with a band trip, and he's a little dejected right now because he's missing his kid right now, so he's not happy. I want to talk about the portal. Finally has closed.
They're still bringing in kids, though. They'll be Harris, linebacker from UCF, is here. Got here late last night. T-Will picked him up at X&A. And then they've got a kid named Jalen Brown, wide receiver from Florida State, will be here tomorrow. Wide receiver. So, and they signed. They've signed 7, I believe. I believe it's 7 now.
Is it 7? Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't have it in front of me. I know they signed that 4 that Saturday. Then they signed the quarterback. Then they got the defensive tackle, and you got the wide receiver from. So it should be 7. Yeah. And you got these 2 kids visiting. So, I only have them with 8 scholarships available, but apparently somebody has quit that I don't know who it is.
Okay.
Or something. Somebody quit or somebody graduated and moved on. But I know they know what they're doing better than I do. I mean, I'm just going off what I've got. I know right now I have 8 available scholarships, but I have 1 available. I mean, I've got 8 and they signed 7, but what I'm saying, they've got these 2 kids. I'm assuming they would sign both of these kids if they could get them. T. Will actually recruited Harris at UCL. Both of these were 4-stars out of high school, by the way. Both of them were 4-star recruits out of high school. Mm-hmm. So they were pretty good ball players out of high school.
So I think it's pretty safe to say, and I haven't checked it, but I do believe that the wide receiver from Texas that was here last week has moved on from Arkansas. Is that correct?
Yeah, I don't think he signed anywhere, but I'm hearing he's going to go to Syracuse. But I don't think he's made. If he did, I missed it. But yeah, that was the one that I felt like they really needed to get. DeJounte Cook, but I mean, he had issues. But I mean, like I said, I think I said last week, it was high risk, high reward. You know, I mean, but man, that kid can play. But I don't know. I mean. Yeah, that was the one I really felt like they really needed to get, but they may have not missed on that. I mean, it just depends. If he, he went to Washington, got kicked off right at bat, and then he got arrested twice after that. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, usually Sam doesn't recruit those kids like that. I met him. He seemed like a nice kid, but then again, I mean, most of them are when I see them. I mean, they're putting on a pretty good act with me. So I mean, but he can play now. Let me tell you, his problem is not talent. DeJounte Cook can play. I don't care where he goes.
Flat out
play. Yeah, he can play. If he ever gets it together on the field and really concentrates and stays straight on the field, he's going to be really high pick in the pros. He can play football now. That's not the question with him. Character, okay, but I don't know if it's even character as much as it is maybe just questionable decisions. The pod he got arrested for in Texas is illegal. I don't use it, but I mean, crap. I mean, I don't consider that a big deal. I really don't. I mean, maybe I'll probably saying that, but I'm not saying I don't smoke it. I mean, I don't like it, but I'm just saying I don't see that's a big deal. A little bit of pot now. I think he stole something from somebody. That's a big deal. But the pot part, I don't care about that crap. I mean, that's kind of like when I was growing up, man. You got these people for DWI. Hell, they could have got me 100 times, or a million times, but never did. It didn't make me any better person than they got arrested. Didn't make me any better person because I just was lucky enough to never get arrested for it. But it didn't make me any better person. But so that's kind of how I look at it. I don't see that pot arrest being a big deal. It's illegal, okay, but I don't know, man. I don't know. That's a story for another debate for another day. But it does tell you though that the kid makes questionable decisions.
Yeah, and that was one of the things I think Sam wanted to bring him into, and see exactly, maybe get to the root of some of the stories of what's going on. Is it the people around him? Is it him making those decisions, or is he influenced by friends? Because there's so many factors that go into those situations where it's not black and white. Usually there's a lot of factors that happen that go into that, because and there's a lot of people that have had some bad unfortunate things happen to them that sometimes might have not have been in their control, and just wrong place, wrong time. I'm not saying that that's what happened with him, but you also have to do your due diligence and give the person the benefit of the doubt to find out the whole story before you make those decisions.
Well, yeah, and I mean, they vetted him pretty good because otherwise Sam, because I know some pretty good players that went on and played other places, stayed out of trouble, that Sam has turned down and there's not recruited them because of that. And he did him. So I know dang well there was something there that told him the kid had pop. I know they told me, I mean, I know he just sat and watched the draft with them, wasn't raising Cain or any trouble, causing any trouble or anything. Watched the draft and was excited about that. I think his teammate Golden got drafted.
Matthew Golden, yeah.
So I mean, I heard good things about him, and I met him, talked to him and his dad both. Really liked his dad. Like I said, I was hoping they'd get him because I think he's the best one they brought. I don't know if he's best recruit because I think Julian Neal may be that, but he's good, But
I do have a quick score update also. Arkansas, Texas. Arkansas has ran off Ruger Rojas, after 8 runs, Arkansas is still batting bottom of the 4th with 2 out and 1 on second. And Vahiva Aloy was the guy who knocked out Rojas. Otis, I want to ask you really quick. Have you ever watched Napoleon Dynamite?
No, I have not. I don't watch very many movies, so I don't have time. So I don't.
Ruger Rojas reminds me of Uncle Rico from that movie. The guy that kind of lives in the past a little bit. He had the mustache. He's got the look a little bit. He kind of reminded me of Uncle Rico, and I busted up laughing. I texted a buddy of mine. I was like, this guy's on the mound. He looked at, he said, this is almost a dead spot on. And it's just so funny because he was doing some crazy stuff. I mean, he threw a 53 mile an hour knuckleball to the plate.
The pitcher a while ago, I saw that. It looked like what that looked like.
Big old lollipop.
And bring in those field position players to pitch late in the major leagues. You know, when it seems like 20 to nothing, and they'll go to a position player to keep burning the bullpen, and they'll go up there and they'll throw it. Look like slow pitch softball. That's what that looked like. I saw that. I thought, what's that? You know?
And he didn't do it once. He did it twice also, and he did it once to Chuck Davalon, and I think he might have done it to Cam Koschel, and he fouled it off before he sent that dinger over the right field wall.
9-0 now, man. I mean, they're pouring it on them. They're beating the number 1 team in the country. So, yeah.
Well, I think that's a great response. Dudley and I will be on Sunday afternoon for the Arkansas Diamond Report, and we'll recap this Texas series. Yeah. I think it's a great response so far to what's happened the last couple weekends because it seems like the wheels kind of started falling off a little bit.
Yeah. You know, they've lost 2 series in a row, and they could lose this series. I mean, you know, you could win today and then lose the next 2. It can happen. I believe that's what happened at Florida, if I'm not mistaken. Or did they lose the first game at Florida? I don't remember. I don't know. But anyway, I know.
Lost the first game 6-4 at Florida, then won, and then lost the series finale.
Okay, well, I was wrong there. I was thinking one series there, maybe another one there where they won the first game and lost the next 2, but maybe not. I don't know. But, yeah, I mean, but, you know, someone asked me this morning, I was my buddy at the pharmacy, and I told him, I said, I don't think either team will sweep the other one. I said, Arkansas, I think it'll be a 2-1 series. I said, I don't know. Yeah. I'd probably go with Texas, but I said they're not unbeatable by any stretch of the imagination. I said, I honestly think that Arkansas could take them, but I said, I don't see a sweep either way. Mm-hmm. I think it'll be a 2-1 series, but maybe it will be a sweep. We obviously hope it is.
Well, and also whenever you have these Thursday, Friday, Saturday games, some weird things can happen because it's a little out of the ordinary. Well, you're not playing on Sunday. You're playing a day early. And Arkansas had a little bit of extra rest also because they didn't play Missouri State on Wednesday either.
I was just getting ready to say that, Jason.
Or Tuesday.
Ready to say that. I think that was really huge not playing that Tuesday night game. You know, when they played them down here, it was like a 14-13 slugfest.
Yeah.
The game lasted for freaking ever, man. I mean, it took forever for that game. It went 10 innings.
Blown save in the 10th. All that. Awful, man. All that bullshit.
Like 5 or 6 runs going the 9th inning and blew it. Poor Will McIntyre had the worst day of his life. He's been a Razorback forever, and worst outing he ever had, man. I mean, one of the few really bad ones, but he couldn't get anybody out that day, and Dave left him in, and it was just a cluster. And they missed a bullet. I think his team, best thing could happen to them was not play that game Tuesday, especially with the game being Thursday night. Now, I mean, if this is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, maybe a different story, but with this game being Thursday night, first game, I think it's the best thing that ever happened to them not playing that Tuesday night game. I really do.
Yeah, definitely does. And, you know, I felt bad for Will McIntyre because Arkansas put 6 pitchers out there last Sunday and gave up 9 runs. Will McIntyre gave up, I do believe, 2 also in the loss as well. But I do want to switch it back over to football really quick because Brady G111 had a really good comment. He said, why did Kane commit to UCF? Could Arkansas still get him?
Arkansas didn't offer. That offer from Arkansas is not a legit offer, guys. A lot of those offers, a lot of these schools take junior or take other quarterbacks, or they take, as I said last week, the only way they'll get Kane Archer is if this staff gets fired and another staff comes in and that staff likes him, then they'd have a chance. But if Bobby Petrino's the quarterback coach, offensive coordinator, they're not going to offer Kane Archer. It's just that simple.
And at this point, I think it's the measurables more than anything else. I don't think it's the arm. I don't think it's the legs. I think it's his height that his
part of it. I think the arm strength is a little bit of concern to Petrino. and that did not come from Bobby. That did come from somebody else. I think the arm strength a little bit. The height obviously is a problem. I knew it would be. But hey, look, this is me telling you what I know about it. Let me tell you, I think Arkansas should offer Kane. I think they should take Kane. I don't want people to go say that Otis Kirk says he's not good enough player. I've never said that. I just said that. I'm telling you why. If Bobby Petrino's the offensive coordinator, they're not going to offer Kane. They're not going to offer him. And or not a legit offer. And, but, the only way he could end up here is if this staff got fired and they brought in a new staff. And that staff went back on him because the other kid from South Carolina might decommit. And this next staff might love Kane. So, Kane. Yeah. And I love Kane Archer. I think it's a huge mistake for Arkansas not to offer him or not to take him. But I mean, it don't matter what I think. When I tell you, I don't want people thinking I'm trashing Kane because I'm not. I was the first person that ever wrote about Kane, and I love Kane Archer. I think Arkansas, the kid's a winner, man. That's the biggest thing. I don't care about arm. I don't care about height. All I know is the kid wins every damn time he takes the field. He wins. And that's what I like, and he does it. Legs, his arm. Kane Archer should be a Razorback, but they didn't want him, and it's just that simple.
One of the players that I think of whenever you talk about Kane Archer and the way that he plays and how he approaches the game. And I know this is going to be extremely high praise, but at the same time, I think that it's one of those intangibles that not everybody has, like you were saying, where he wins every time he steps out on the field, was Tim Tebow.
Yeah, he wins like he reminds me a little bit even of Mahomes. I mean, a little bit. I mean, I'm not saying he's as good as Mahomes or anything. What I'm saying is he's got some things I've noticed with Mahomes finds a way to win games. What I'm saying, I've seen Kansas City. We're 2 plays away from losing the game, 2 minutes, and Mahomes finds a way to win it. And I've seen Kane do the same thing. I think Arkansas is making a mistake, but they haven't asked me. They don't care what I think, and so I don't want to sound like I'm trashing Kane because that's me. I love that kid, and I've had him on my show 2 or 3 times, 3 or 4 times. I don't know. I'd give anything if Arkansas would take him and offered him and really wanted him, but they didn't, and that's all I can tell you. So I mean. But the only way that he'll be a Razorback is if this staff were to get fired and they bring in a new staff and that staff likes Kane, and then I think Kane would flip then. I don't know that. I mean, I haven't asked him. Mm-hmm. I haven't asked him because that's all hypothetical, and I just don't know. But I hope this staff doesn't get fired, not because of that, but I don't like anybody getting fired. I mean, I see people celebrating firing people. I don't like that. I don't like it. I don't like people. It happens. I get it, but I don't like it,
Because let's indulge me here for a second, because at first it was theoretical. Now it's hypothetical, and possibly it could damn well happen that this staff may not be intact by the end of next season.
Oh, anything can happen. I mean, with that schedule they've got, it could definitely happen. But I think, oh yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible. I don't know. I mean, there's people thought they wouldn't survive last year. I thought they'd win 8 games last year, and they should have. They should have. They won 7, and I mean, I had 8 with the regular season. I'm not changing it. Yeah. I'm not changing the goalpost. I had them winning 8 in the regular season. They should have beat Oklahoma State, and then there was 2 or 3 other games like A&M, Missouri, A&M, Missouri, some other game where they just fumbled the ball away and gave the game away that they could have won. But I had them winning 8 games, and they should have.
They very well should have, yeah. That was the thing too, and I think that was what really pissed a lot of Razorback fans off, was that the fact that they were in the game in the fourth quarter multiple times last year, and they pissed it away.
The only game, the Ole Miss game, is the one game where they really were. I know some people say LSU, but
not even close.
LSU was 16-10 late in the third quarter.
LSU
Arkansas had the football.
Texas, Oklahoma State, all 3 of those.
He fumbles, the ball goes in, and LSU gets a cheap touchdown. Then they blew
A&M
out. But that was a close game through most of the third quarter. LSU, Ole Miss just embarrassed them. I mean, Ole Miss kicked their butts. But other than that, Texas didn't embarrass them, kicked their butts. Missouri, none of those teams did. And but we were at Oklahoma State, Jason, and they should have won that game.
They should have.
We were at all I think I only missed 2 or 3 games all season, home or away. I went to just about all of them, but we were in Little Rock. And
if I'm not mistaken, the linebacker for Oklahoma State that was all world that ended up getting hurt and missed the rest of the season and I think the first half of that Arkansas game, I think he went in the second round of the draft.
Yeah, I think he did too. I saw they had a guy drafted really high. I believe it was the second round. Yeah, I love the draft. I watch it.
Hell, Ollie Gordon went in the fourth round.
Yeah, I wasn't sold on him. I really wasn't. I don't know. I mean, running backs are weird. I mean, some teams just won't draft one early. And the thing about this, some of those running backs drafted in the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round turn out to be better than the first round picks.
Yeah.
I don't know. You just never know. But that's a crapshoot drafting running backs because you just never know who's going to stay healthy, how much mileage they've got left on them. So it's just a risk. Yeah.
Did you see that mess on social media about Taylor Green getting an offer of $5.5 million to go to Georgia?
No, I didn't see that.
I'm telling you what, I saw that.
What's recently?
That? Yeah, it came out last day or so.
Georgia cannot take an Arkansas kid. They can't do it. That can't happen. So it's probably made up. Because I had a guy tell me Arch Manning was going to leave Texas and go to Tennessee. And I said, no, this is after Nico left. I said, no, he's not. I said, it's impossible. It can't happen. You can't take an SEC transfer in this spring portal. You can't transfer within the SEC. Mm-hmm. So, now the reason Jonte Cook and the receiver could, because they left SEC schools, went to Washington, and Cook, the receiver went to Pittsburgh. Andy Jean went to Pitt, and that's how come they could take them or try to get there. Or got Jean, but they didn't get Cook. But that's how come they could do that. But they can't. Taylor Green could not have gone to Georgia in the spring portal. Couldn't do it.
I laughed at that too because I thought, this isn't passing the smell test. I thought it'd be funny to bring up if anything
all
else.
The time, and there's all kinds of websites. I mean, I see stuff. I saw one the other day where Luka Doncic and JJ Redick got in a fight, and JJ Redick was fired, and Luka Doncic was banned from the NBA for life. And I'm thinking, good God, people.
Well, now, if it was Tyrese Halliburton's dad and Giannis Antetokounmpo, I'm going to tell you what. Now, that was true.
Yeah, but the deal with JJ and Luka wasn't. And I don't know. The sad thing was how many people believe that crap, man. It's like a politician. These politicians say lies, and people gullible enough to believe that crap. I mean, you see it with your eyes, and you know it's not true. But you believe it because they said it,
Well, like you had posted on there saying that we got billionaires that are telling us that our groceries are cheaper than what they were before, which is total bullshit.
Know where the hell they're cheaper at, because where I go, I'm not worried about gas prices so much. I mean, they haven't gone down like they're saying, but they really haven't gone up that much.
No, they've kind of stayed
steady. Now, it was $2.30 originally,
yeah,
but it's been $2.60, $2.70, $2.80, pretty consistent. But
and I think a lot of people are okay with that if it is consistent because they can budget for it. Yeah. Now it's whenever you go from $2.40 to $2.80 overnight, that shit hurts.
They really are. The grocery store is absolutely murdering me. It's just, let's get to where now you can find the coupons and go eat at Subway or one of these Torchy's or somewhere and eat cheaper than you can.
Yeah.
I guess I shouldn't mention other restaurants for Torchy's, but I'm just saying, you just. I didn't even think about that, but I'm just saying, you can eat out about as cheap as you can eat at home anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you really can.
If you're selective now, you go to $1 million, $1,000 steak or something. You're not going to, but you can eat out.
Yeah, you really can, and I mean, even
grocery
these places,
killing me, Jason, it's killing me. The gas I can handle, but the grocery store. It's murdering me, man. And these people tell these lies, these politicians, these people just eat that crap up, man. And it's like, open your damn eyes, people. And look, guy came on there arguing me like I said, I don't care whose fault it is. I'm not placing blame. I don't care whose fault it is. All I'm saying, quit lying about it. That's all. I'm not putting blame. I
lower the damn prices. Be honest about it.
I don't like any of the politicians. I'm not Republican. I'm not Democrat. So I don't like any of them. But I'm just saying, I don't care. I'm not putting fault. I'm just saying, quit lying about it,
Yep. Brady G, I'm going to reel it back into football here for just a moment. He said, is it coaching not being mentally strong enough to win close games?
Well, I don't know. I don't think it's coaching so much when you had fumbles. I don't. Maybe it is. I think it's just they just had some. I look, man. I'm one of these people, and that may be true. I'm not saying it's not, but I'm a guy that's more about if I screw up, it's on me. It's not on Lanny Beavers. I take the blame, and that's why if it's if Dudley does something, don't jump me, or if I do something, don't jump Dudley or don't jump. I put it back on myself. Is what I'm saying. So I think if these players go out here and they fumble in the fourth quarter or something, or throw an interception, I think it's on them. I don't think that's coaching. They're not coached to throw interceptions. And I do know Bobby Petrino is one of the best quarterback coaches. Personally, I think he's the best quarterback coach in the country. So I know he's coaching them not to do that. So I don't put it on coaching, but
ask Dylan Emila. I can't. You know what? He's so far gone now. I don't even know how to pronounce his last name again. So there's that.
I never did know how to pronounce his last name. I'm lucky to spell it, man. But I just called him Madden. But yeah.
You can call him Madden out now, not Madden I.
There's a debate on Arkansas going after that. But look, man, the one thing I've heard about kids about getting paid, well, coaches, and changing schools every year. Well, coaches can do it. Let me tell you, if you're going to use that excuse, and they have, I've heard that a million times about, because I think they ought to limit it to one transfer, and after that, you have to sit out of here if you're not a graduate. But They say, well, coaches can leave at any time. Yep, they've got buyouts. So if you're going to give me that damn excuse about coaches can do it, but they've got buyouts. So if you're going to go with that, then the players got to have buyouts too. And if they've got a buyout, then enforce it. What's the point of having rules if you don't enforce them? Anything, and I'm not necessarily about buyouts, but anything. If you've got rules and you're not going to enforce them, then throw them away. They're doing no good,
Honey Yurchek's got a buyout. What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Yeah, if Yurchek left, Arkansas won't take money back. So if Madden leaves and he got $500,000 and he never played a game, they ought to go after some of it.
I have an idea. Kind of like maybe they could do it this way. Instead of the school trying to recoup the money themselves, the transferring school that they're going to has to pay a transfer fee, kind of like soccer over in Europe a little bit. Mm-hmm. Hey, you're stealing our guy, but guess what? You're going to have to pay us some jack, just like a buyout with any college coach also.
Yeah. There ought to be something. But I have no look. I know Feinbaum ripped them for doing that or questioned them. I don't know if you call it ripping. He questioned. I don't question Arkansas for doing that.
I don't either.
Will it hurt them with other recruits? I don't know about that, man. Look, if you're thinking I'm gonna go to Arkansas and I'm gonna stay a semester and I'm gonna get paid, I'm gonna screw them over and leave. If that's your thinking, and you're offended by that, then don't come. Do
you think that Sam
Madden did them no good? He wasted every damn snap he took out there this spring. That
he did.
Grayson Wilson or one of the other kids didn't get was
KJ Jackson. He was the direct benefactor of.
They wasted the whole spring practice on Madden.
He would have been the direct benefactor of those.
So I have no issue with them going after it. I hope they get it back, and nothing personal against him. But that's just how I feel about it. And look, if Sam Pittman left tomorrow, I'd want Arkansas to get the buyout back from him. I'm not singling out Madden. I'm just saying, but what I'm saying, if it's good for the coaches, and that's the excuse they say for transferring every year, because I don't like this free agency every year in college sports. I don't like it, Jason. Not going to lie to you, and it's not limited to football. I just don't like kids. There's one kid the other day I saw he's been to 5 schools in 5 years. That's bullshit, man. Come on, stop that crap. Don't be doing that.
Eventually it's just going to come down to collective bargaining where you're going to have a representative for the players.
If you don't get your way, quit. That's what they're leave. What happened? Greg Thomas come here. You think Greg Thomas, first time he didn't start, he jumped in the transfer portal? No, he stayed here and worked his butt off and started. Limbo Parks, all these guys, they didn't get it handed to them. None of them did. Dottie Center, but Greg Thomas came here and he stayed and paid his dues. And guess what? It worked out for him. There's worse things. And I've talked to some of these former players. I know you have too, but I've talked to some of these guys, not necessarily the ones you had on the show, but some of them, but some of the others too. I've talked to players that just don't like the fact that it's just too easy now. When you don't get your way, you pack it up and leave. What happened to fighting and earning your spot?
I'm going to I might piss some people off when I say this, but that's direct parenting at that point. The parent, you can't sit there and tell me that, say, for instance, Greg Thomas's dad or Limbo Parks' parents or or family, or Donnie Center's family, or Luther Franklin, or whoever, Matt Jones, for instance, if those guys had a coaching change and they start, and didn't even have a coaching change, just was pissed off because of the playing time.
Yeah.
Do you think that they're going to sit there and boohoo about it? No, they're not. And
Matt Jones, when Ryan Sorham went in for him, Matt Jones could have packed it up with the transfer portal if there'd been a transfer portal, but there wasn't.
Exactly.
And I don't mind the transfer portal because people can get in a situation where they went somewhere and it didn't work out for them, or the coaches changed after they got there. I have no issue with transferring, but I think one is enough. And after that, if you're not a graduate, then you have to sit out a year. I just don't think this stuff ever. You have somebody transfer 5 times in 5 years. I don't know what they're learning, Jason.
At this point, I think
you're losing credits. I mean, every school doesn't have the same system.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So now you're extending your education, which is putting more load financially on.
And those people, all it teach you is when you get out of there and you're going to get out here. You had all this money in college. You have no responsibility. You just, you don't have very many responsibilities. You get married and have car payments, house payments, kids. You got a wife, and you're going to be like, what the hell am I doing? Because it's not going to be free money then. And you're not, Bobby Petrino made that point.
They're not paying for room and boarding books.
Bobby Petrino, I sit and talked to Bobby for a long time one day, and we talked about that. You're not preparing kids for the real world.
No. Well,
and Bobby Petrino's a smart man,
And some of the, and I think some of this, and this is what I was going back to, with possibly pissing some folks off, is that is directly from parenting. Because when you've got parents that are trying to make as much money through the kid as they can, and they're in their ear and not having their best interest at hand, saying, okay, well, this school's not paying you enough. We need to go find somewhere else so that way that we can make sure that you're making some money. They're not setting themselves up for the NFL. I understand that there's only a small percentage, but the schools that you go to can set you up for those things. They can for better jobs afterwards.
And I'm telling you, it wasn't the transfer with Shadur, but there's some things that caused the NFL teams not to want him. And I'm telling you, they look at that stuff, man. I mean, look, the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, NHL, all those are businesses, man. Any of those pro sports, they're businesses, man. Those are business people making those decisions. It's business decisions, It's not, well, he was good at Colorado or he was good at Arkansas, I mean. And, and
they want good players and solid people they can depend on. And you know how I know that? Isaac Tesla, right there.
Well, yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, he went to Detroit and sold them on the idea that he was from Michigan. He wanted to be a Lion. The kid loved the Detroit Lions. Me and him would talk about the draft. I remember last year we were doing the draft when he was still had another year at Arkansas. Me and him are talking about we're texting back and forth about the draft, who the Lions took. He didn't like this guy or did like this guy. And we were texting back and forth about the Lions. And I was thrilled to death with that kid the other night. I mean, wish I could have hugged him, man. I mean, I love Isaac. He is a great player. I thought he should have played more when he was here. I think Arkansas underused him. But
and last year during Pro Day, whenever you had Cam Little out there kicking, guess who was out there running routes way after everybody was done? Isaac Tesla. Guess what happened? There were scouts that come over and watched him. Yeah. Those are those sorts of things that help you get drafted higher. If your measurables stack up, your hands are great, or your position skills are great, and you go in there and you have a great interview, letting them know that you're a solid dude.
No kidding, man. That's big. And I know that, there's different factors, but I do know when you go to 5 schools in 5 years, the NFL is going to look at you.
Yeah.
The NBA is going to look at you, and Major League Baseball, and they're going to look at you and think, hey, what's going to happen the first time this guy doesn't do well? He's going to quit, and you can get a reputation, man. And it's, work ethic just not there with some of these kids. And that's sad, and it's the NCAA's the fault reason of it too, because of they've allowed the rules for, they've let this thing take off like this. Now it's hard to reel it in.
I got a quick question for you, Otis, before we get out of here. Do you like teriyaki pork?
What? Teriyaki?
Teriyaki pork?
I don't know.
This is starting, and I don't know the name of it, but I'm going to give you the ingredients of this new taco of the month at Torchy's.
Mm-hmm.
Teriyaki pork, wonton strips, sriracha aioli, some veggie slaw, and Marcus says this thing is serious, so we're going to have to try one next week.
Shit, man,
I'm down for
it. Heck, man, I don't even know the stuff you're talking about. I don't even, man, I'm from Mena. I don't know what I'm born in Big Fork, Arkansas, man. Hell, I don't know what you're talking about, man. I'm one step above the Beverly Hillbillies, man. I mean, I'm one step ahead of the Beverly Hillbillies. That's about it. So I don't even know what you're talking about, man.
That right there is the line of the night. I'm one step ahead of the Beverly Hillbillies.
Jethro Bodine, man. I mean,
Well, I can guarantee you that you better cipher than he is.
I can cipher better, man, but that's about it.
All right, Otis, you take care. Get out of here. I'll see you next Thursday. Rogers Torchy's Taco, 7 p.m. And we will see you all next week.
Live. I'll be there.
You better be. I'll drag you out if I have to.
Well, just set me up, man. Prop me up and get a
Weekend at Bernie's, baby. Boom.
Yeah, keep it going. Okay, guys. Talk to you later. Thanks, everybody, for listening tonight.
And also, Sunday afternoon, I will get the time hammered down for the Arkansas Diamond Report with Dudley Dawson after this Arkansas-Texas series. Arkansas is up 9-0, bottom of the sixth right now. Looks like they are cruising to a possible first game win. Don't want to jinx all that mess. You know how that shit goes in baseball. It's a cold bitch mother. So for Otis, myself, Jason, y'all take care and go Hogs.
Thanks, man.
Y'all, it's time for some damn good tacos in college football. We're excited to announce our title sponsor, Torchy's Tacos, for the Arkansas Football Report with Otis Kirk, and the new addition to the Hogville.net family, the Arkansas pregame show starring former Hog running back Marshall Foreman, hosted by Jason Pattison. If you're looking for a place to unwind and call the Hogs, Torchy's is the place. Torchy's location on MLK in Fayetteville is the proud host of the Arkansas pregame show, and it will air 2 hours prior to kickoff of each Fayetteville home game. The Arkansas Football Report airs every Thursday at 7 p.m. in Rogers. Check out the full-service bar on the patio or in the restaurant while you cheer Arkansas on to victory. Torchy's has you covered with the daily drink specials or the taco of the month with their queso that's made in-house fresh daily. Torchy's has 2 convenient locations in Northwest Arkansas, which happen to be the only 2 locations here in the great state of Arkansas. They have you covered for some damn good tacos, and go Hogs.